This time Yerushalmi Yoma in the art scrolls Vazeshim Ramash Tapa Dawud and Ralph Tamatinan, which in the Vilna is 8 lines to the bottom Gimel and Ralph. Tamatinan is in Menachos. We learn Elu Moshchim Elu Menichin with Lechem Aparim, which is switched every Shabbos. The old bread goes out, and new bread comes in. Elu Moshchim Elu Menichin. The way it's done is that the Kohanim who are removing Lechem Panim, they take off the table immediately. The Kohanim putting on the new Lechem Panim put it right away on the table, so much that the hands of the one removing it are right next to the hands of the one putting it on. So it's very quick and immediately. Shema Fanai Tamid says in front of me constantly. Now, there's a line, 2 lines down, 3 lines down here, both editions, which we're going to put over here, like the Carbon Ada does. Rabbi Yossi Omer, Av Elu Notlim El Menichim Av Zeh Yisrael. Even if these are put down and these are pick up, and it wasn't immediate, but there was some delay, it's still called Tamid. And so that line, Rabbi Yossi Rav Elu Notlim El Menichim Av Zeh Yisrael, put it over here after the words Shenamar L'Fanai Tamid. Then the Gemara goes on and says, Masnisa Rabbi Meir. The Mishnah, which says has to be immediate, it's Rabbi Meir. Now, it says here, meet Rabbi Yochanan, the Karmeida, and others, Chaim, for example, says that Amar Rabbi Yochanan. And the truth is that Rabbi Chaim changes it to Rabbi Chia Bar Yosef. There's a Medrash Rabbah. And the names are going to be important later on, but for our purposes right now, it doesn't make a difference. Let's just leave it. So the Rabbi Yochanan, Moed Rabbi Meir. Meir concedes, although here it says Moed Rabbi Meir, the article, the here Karm Ada changed it to Moed Rabbi Yossi. The article changes that well. So Moed Rabbi Yossi, Shein Pirkos Yeshana B'Shachos Decidu Aser Chadash Ben Abayim Avzu Eisar Tamid. It's enough that they move it in the if they move the old one in the morning and put on the new Lechem Abayim in the afternoon, that's also Tamid. Now we skipped the next words because we put them right before. We plugged them before. We took we moved that up. By the way, it's the type of the Carbon Ada. I didn't check to see if it's the typo. Same typo was in the art scroll. It says in the art scroll. Rabbi Yossi says she'ain zu tamid. No, it should be sha'av zu tamid. That's also considered to be tamid. So let's see that inside again. So Rabbi Yossi, not Rabbi Meir, she'im pirkos yeshana b'shachris v'sidrus chadash b'narabayim av zu tamid. Then we skipped the next one because we took them out. Rabbi Yossi we moved that up. Okay, now Rabbi Yochanan Mishivas Arabanav Lamad Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi learned his shita from the Shivas Me'aron, how they sat in the Mishkan during the Miluim. Kamad the Tamer Shivas Arabanav, just like when Aaron and his children sat in the Mishkan. Shivas Yimei Miluim. Tzarashim Sar the Tamid there means Tzarashim Sar Yom L'Layla V'Layla Yom. It means that at the transfer time, when the used to go from day to night and night to day, they had to be there, giving, so to speak, giving over day to night and night to day. So it's here, the Lechem Apanim has to be on the table by nightfall. But if they moved it in the morning, and right? If they as long as they're there at the transfer points in the morning between Yom and Laila, and at the transfer point in the evening between Yom and Laila, transfer points in the morning of Laila L'Yom, that's considered to be Tamid. Tamid is considered to be that it's there kind of during the transfer points. It doesn't. In theory, it was there. If they put it in, took it off in the morning, put it on in the evening, since during the transfer points, the lechem was on the table. That's good enough. Okay. I want to read the Carbon Ada. with the changes, with the change of the typo. Masis V'achim Perusho. Rabbi Yossi Savar, if you el novim achar menicham melech on shulchan, even there's a delay. Mikom mikotomich. Ena kvan el shaloya shulchan yom alayla below lechem. It shouldn't be a day or night without the bread. Tanakam Rabbi Yossi holds differently. Holds that's me immediate transfer. That's right, man. Right. So and they say tzarich sheyimsor yoim l'layla v'layla yom says korban eder shneimar pesach moed lo tetu shivas yomim. Uksi basrei, it says not supposed to leave 7 days. And it says afterwards pesach ol moed teshu yomam v'layla shivas yomim. Okay, Shemamina, from this we derive Shlo Yesha Pesach Omay Kol Yom Chol Laila. They have to be there the entire day, entire night. And Shumashlimim Uvo B'Tzov Hayom V'Yoshua Mikzah Salayla. They have to be mashlim come. Now I don't know, could be this more, but the minimally they have to come and sit B'Tzov Hayom V'Yoshua Mikzah Salayla till a little bit and into the night, and vice versa. Uvo B'Tzov Halayla V'Yoshua Mikzah Sayom. That's the day and night of Sibakra. Who had in Hacha, Guy Belechem upon we have two Belechem upon him, Nami William Shimsar Yom Laila for Laila Yom. Okay, so the Rabbi Yossi, it's got to be day to night and night to day. Now, Rabbi Yossi argues again, according to Rabbi Chaim, we have to change the names, but we're not going to do that. So the Rabbi Yossi Amar Mikema, it says, Rabbi Yochanan before it says Rabbi Yossi, and here he changes this to Rabbi Yochanan. But in any event, whoever it is, we'll go with the gears of when you needed the transfer point, what transport do you need? Point, you need it from Yom L'Layla. That at Shkia, there should be something at the table. Okay, that's enough. You don't have to have it Laila L'Yom, only Yom L'Layla. Okay, you don't have to have the transfer point of the night to day, or the transfer point of day to night. Okay, so the Moras Ma'amar Rabbi Chia Bar Yosef B'Yeshiva San Rabbanim. That's fine. That's by Lechem Apanim. What does he say by the Miluim? Ma'in Tamon. So if by the Lechem Apanim, Shekas about Tamid, it says Tamid has to be constantly there. Adam Lekemot Shemosa Yom L'Layla Dayo. You say that as long as it's there at the transfer point from day to night, that suffices, and you don't need the transfer point from night to day. So the Afkan by the Miluim She'en Kosabu Damid. It doesn't say Tamid by the Miluim. It says, just as he's read for Korban Eder, Pesach Omei Teshu Yom V'Layla Shivas Yomim. Doesn't say Tamid. So Lo Koshkein, you certainly only have to have one transfer point covered, not both transfer points. You only have to have the transfer point covered from day to night, right, by Shkia, and not from night to day by Alosa Shachar. Now the next Gemara is a little bit out of order. The derivation, what we're about to discuss, is brought down the end of the Gemara. But basically, during the Shivas Miluim, the Mishkan was taken apart, put together, taken apart, put together. Question: how many times? Okay, and this has to do with this Machlekes Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Chia Bar Yossi, whether you needed to have Mesira Yom V'Layla or just on both ends, both transports, or just the one transfer point of Yom V'Layla, not Layla Yom. And but everybody agrees that they during the Shivas Miluim they took apart the Mishkan, put it back together, took apart the Mishkan, put it back together every day until finally the 8th day when they left it intact. So I'm going to go with the Ritbaz here. The Ritbaz makes things reasonably clear. There are many different suggestions here for different changes in Kirosos. So we're going to. The article has a type of table. Over here, you can freeze frame if you want to actually look at the table on one part on Aleph, and over here on again another table, and on Omid Base yet another table. You can freeze frame anything you want to look at them carefully to describe them of Purim when they took place. I think it's the type of table, and there's yet another one over here. I think it's the type of table which just confuses things. So we're going to try and do it with that one. without those tables. So we're going to go to Ridbaz. Okay, the Ridbaz, I think the Ridbaz you have both in the Vilna and probably have the Art Scroll. No, in the Art Scroll. Yes, you have it on the side in the Art Scroll, so you can follow along inside the Ridbaz. So if you have a pre-Vilna edition, you're out of luck. But so just listen carefully. Going to the Ridbaz. Omar Biach Meshus Aaron Barav. That's the Maskil. Might as well be the whole thing, even though beginning we already saw. So Amar Biach Meshuvas Aaron Barav Lom Rabbi Yosef Kamatem Meshuvas Aaron Barav Tzorich Yom Sar Yom L'Laila V'Laila Yom Tzomar L'Sagi B'Kach. That's enough. Nikro Tamid Aval Tzorich Sar Laila Yom Yom L'Laila. Tzomar L'Sagi B'Kach. That's enough. Even less. Came Hashem Yom L'Laila. Once you have Messiah Yom L'Laila, Daya. But Sagi Messiah Yom L'Laila, but Lo B'Yom Messiah L'Laila Yom. But Sean, then we asked Mamar B'Chei B'Yesi B'Shivas De'em in Aaron B'Aram. Messiah B'Chei B'Yesi Sagi Messiah Yom L'Laila. It's enough to give the day to the night transfer point. Lo B'Yom L'Laila Yom. We don't need the night today. Need to Rabbi Yochanan. So according to Rabbi Yochanan, Shetzarech Shem Sargam Laila L'Yom. Now comes the part which we need. You can't take apart the Mishkan at night. Because you need the Mishkan to be up at the transfer point in the morning. Okay, so take it apart now. What's the big deal? No. How come it's like Psula Yom? Setting up at night is possible for during the daytime. How come it's like it's to be Lila? Yom Hakim Moshe Mishkan. I'm not sure we learned for that possible, but it's going to be later on. But he'd be Yom Klos Moshe Hakim Mishkan. How come it's got to be during the day, not during the night? So it wouldn't be a Masir of the night today. So there was no taking part of the Mishkan tonight at all. And now this is what to the Gemara. So in this it says the Gemara says that according to Rabbi Yochanan, the Mishkan was set up 7 times and taken down 6 times. Perish. What does it mean? The neighbor Medrash Parshas Naso Piskei Beis Isasham Plukta. There's a machlekes in the Medrash Rabbah. The stam of the Medrash Amar Dehaya B'Choyom Piruk Echad. Every day was taken down once. Rechib Rabbi Yosi Svilei Sham Dehaya B'Choyom Beis Amidos of Beis Perukim. Stand on it twice. Echad B'Boiker Echad Ben Abayim. Once in the morning and once in the evening. Both during the daytime. But once in the morning, once during the daytime. There was yet another opinion. Shalom is the Shosh Perukim. 3 times during the day. Echad Tamid Shel Shachar. Once for the avoid of the Tamid Shel Shachar. Once for the Milui, Echad Miluim, for the avoid of the Nik avoid of the Shivas Yimei Miluim. Echad Tamid Shel Erevin, once for the Tamid Shel Ben Arbayim. Ayin Sham. But that's what the Yerushalmi is saying here. Rabbi Yochanan Kochel Loya B'Shivas Yimei Rak Shiva Midas Yisha Perukim. There only could be 7 setting ups and 6 taking downs. Came Loya Prika Balayla, since you couldn't take it down at night. Since you need night to give over today, and we said the Sabbath night is no good for the avoid day, like we're going to see later on. Therefore, you couldn't take it down at night. Therefore, all the 7 days, they only set it up once. They said after the avodah of Tamid Shel Shachar, they would take it down and put it set up al Tamid Shel Ben Shabbos for the Tamid of Ben Arbayim. The Iram Mechiv Lifrok Gam Avodah Shel Shachar, because if we would take it down before the avodah Shel Shachar, Nimtza the Halayla Lo Mosar or Moila Avodah Shel Klau. There was no way for the day to give for the night to give over to the day. They would only take it down for one avodah. To the Tamid Shel Arvis, they would take it down for the Tamid Shel Ben Arbayim in order for and then put it back together for the avoda of Tamid Shel Ben Arbayim. Similar to what we said Lechem Panim. Shachris, You can remove the old one in the morning, and put the lechma panim in the afternoon. Rabbi Yossi, similar thing by the Mishkan. Okay, there was one setting up and one taking down. So the v'nimtza sheva amidos shisha prukim. So it's altogether 7 amidos and six taking down. So the Yom Rishon, the first day, low boy piruk. There was no taking down. The kol ikra piruk they lakim b'chayom, because the reason took it down is to put it back up. The basic, like it says, shakol kumoso, that we finished putting the putting ups on the 8th day later on. So the first day obviously didn't have to take it apart. So because they're putting it together for the first. Now the Sfile, the Hoya Pika Balayla, he says you can take it down during the night. Why? Because of course you can't put it up again during the night, but you can put it up in the morning, which is fine according to Rabbi Yossi, because he holds that it doesn't have to be up at the transfer point in the morning, only transfer point at night. Rabbi Yochanan, you couldn't take it down at night because then it'd be down during the transfer point of night to day, and he holds that it has to be up during that transfer point. Rabbi Yossi, though, take it down at night, and you don't need to transport in the morning, and put it back up in the morning. So according to him, there'd be a prika before, there'd be two prikas amidas a day, right? One for Tamid Shachar, one for Tamid Sheben Arbaim. And then, of course, they have to leave it up to the nighttime transfer point and take it down sometime. The prika for the morning one would be sometime during the night, like we said. So let's read it inside. You don't have to go from night to day. So for the Talmud Shachar, there's also a middle prika. There was the prika during the night, and then they would set up again. And then the second one, Amida Talmud shel Erev Avodas Laila. After the Avodah of the nighttime, in other words, after the transplant and whatever Avodah they did at night, Murim, whatever it was, you would move into morning time. Even though you missed the transfer in the morning, it doesn't need according to Rabbi Yosef. So their question is in the bill that says Beis Amidos. In the article, it's actually corrected to Yudalit Amidos. Right, there were 14 setting ups. Right, Yudgim Pirukim, and again, because first they didn't have to take apart 13 Pirukim. So only 13 Pirukim during Shivas Miluim, and because first they didn't do it, and 14 settings up. So and then the Gemara says, okay, how do we know that there was Kimo Prika? Where's it come from? Azem Mesik, and that the Gemara says, Tani, Moshe is a Mishkan. He would anoint the Mishkan Mamido and set up Farik, Uchule. Yomashini, and the 8th day Mido Velo Pirko. And not the 8th day he set up and didn't take it down. Like it says, Yom Klos Moshe Kimus Mishkan, Kinemes of Samach Shagomar Kamoisov. That's completed the Hakamoisam. The Tula Pirko, they didn't take it down again, of course, until next time they had to travel. So let's read that now inside the Gemara. Al daita Rabbi Yochanan Yoshem Sheva Amidas Shiva Shisha Prukim. Al daita Rabbi Yosef Yoshem Marbos Amidas Shlosha Sei Prukim. Tani, we learned Kol Shiva Simei Miluim Moshe Mosheches Mishkan Miluim Farko. He would all the Sundays Moshe would anoint the Mishkan, set it up, and take it down again. And of course, when it was set up, he would do the avodas on it. On the 8th day, he stood up and didn't take it down again. Again, as I said, of course, until next time they have to travel. Okay, now Rabbi Yosef argues. He stood up, anointed it, and took a bar. I'm not sure. I don't think it's significant when he did the Mashiach before the Amida or after the Amida. I don't think so. But the main thing is he had the Mashiach, Hamada, and Pika, or whatever order it was. So on this, let's see the Ridbaz again. Ridbaz says, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, Omer Api Shmini, Hamido Mashko Pirko. The Sfilu, he holds like Command Omer, like the opinion which we brought down before, in the Ridbaz. There are three Amidas Brikos, one for the Talmud Shel Shachar, one for the Talmud Shel Ben Arbaim, and one for the Avodah Miluim in the middle of the day, and one for the Talmud Shel Ben Arbaim. Okay, so three every day. Echol the Talmud Shel Shachar, Vechol the Miluim, Vechol the Talmud Shel Ben Arbaim. Okay, what I just said. So why is that significant? Because you have to have one less one less prika in order to show that that's it. It's up forever. So if you only have one, according to the opinion that there were, there was no additional prika for the milu prika and hakama for the miluim. So that was it. Once you put it up, once you put it up in the morning, you left it up permanently, and that was Yom HaKama Mishkan, so to speak, right? Even though I put it up the other days, but this is the form of the permanent Yom HaKama. But according to Rabbi Yosef, since there was an extra one, so therefore they could just leave out the one at the end of the day, and they would still have a hakara that this is Yom HaKama. Like, okay, he took it down, but they're supposed to take it down twice during the day, put it up twice during the day. No, he only did it once, so he had a hecker, right? So let's see inside. נמצא יקר ביום השני שנגמר פיקה הקומה, כשמקים אותו אחר תלמיד של שחר, put it down, put it back again. He got תלמיד שבין הבאים, then about תלמיד שבין הבאים, and he didn't do a third one, right? The carbon miluim nigmar. That's it. The carbon miluim is over. Now it's up permanently. The carbon tzarich yosakeh b'yom hashmi shugiyom gemara k'machos. There has to be some sort of back on the 8th day that it's the gemara hakama by having one less. Pre-kan hakama. Looking at a little bit hakama. So otherwise, it would only be finished on the 9th day because there would be no hecker on the 8th day. That was the hakama. That was the last one. He would. Do Tom Shabbat with that hakama. The Bishari, I mean, the other days, there would be additional period of miluim. He wouldn't do this day. This showed us that the hakama is over. And to take it again down after the taking down in the morning. And they put Tom Shabbat. And that basis is going to stand forever. Gemara here, it says, right after this, which is true. That's obviously we said that. But according to Ridbaz, that line comes later on. Because first we have the final tally of Ashkechei Omar. So you come out saying, right? I'll die to Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yosef Yehuda. Now, again, Rabbi Yosef, there's an extra one, even Rabbi Yochanan, right? It's just for you can't do one at night, then put it back in the morning because you need Mesiras Laila Yom. But there are two during the day, one for Miluim, one for Talmud Shel Ben Arbaim, right? So I'll die to Rabbi Ashkelon. I'll die to Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yosef Yehuda. Hayusham Arba say Amidos Shloshos are Perukim. So you have 14 Amidos and 13 Perukim. I'll die to Rabbi Yosef Yehuda. Well, that there was an additional one in the nighttime because you didn't need the Mesiras Laila Yom. So Hayasham Hasrim Achas Amidos Vesrim Perukim. There were 21 Amidos and 20 Perukim, leaving out the final one on the last day. I can read that in Ridbaz, even though we just explained it. I was at the feast of Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yosef, Hashem Yudal Amidos Yudgimel Perukim, Prekos, but Measure Shivas Mei Miluim. Why? Rabbi Yochanan had based on his base Perukim, Echel Miluim, Echel Talmud Shel Ben Arvis, but not for the morning. Rabbi Yosef Hashem Shlosh Perukim Amidos, Echel Talmud Shel Shachar, Echel Miluim, Echel Talmud Shel Arvis. Right now, the Rebbe says he puts in Arvis here. Zos Omeres Shabodas Laila Psula Avodas Yom Kisam a Medish. Like it says, Medish Kirsiv Yom Hakim Moshes Hamishkan. But Yom HaMekimo, during the day you set it up. And and you don't set it up during the nighttime. Okay, he says that's what we just said. In other words, otherwise, Rabbi Yochanan Gankin, right? Because right, you could do it during the in the nighttime. Elavad this really the inam shim so laila liyoim aken lo yaporka b'laila lo ken hechem mabida b'laila hakom masal yom hakom masal psul avodas hayom kidreinu le'el. So that's how he buys what he said previously. And now Gemara finally says at the very end, we now the program really took it apart together. So it says Vahi because it says Vahi Rabbi Zira. Zira says Vahi biyom close Moshe Akimas Mishkan. That there was the day in which Moshe concluded saying the Mishkan, the 8th day. Biyom Shkolu Hakamosav. It means there were obviously Hakamas before that. That was the day in which the Hakamas were terminated. Now, according to Korban, we have now kind of a parenthetical remark which goes back to Mitzvah Prisha. We're going to come back to Hakamas immediately, but I have like a Maimer Musker here. Chaim learns it as part and parcel of the sugya. I'm not sure how you do that. But first I wanted to mention an interesting offer Yerushalmi. The offer Yerushalmi does raise the question of how they did it on Shabbos. And I'm really sure Korban speaks about it. So, because Kohen Prika, how is it done on Shabbos? But perhaps at that point it was still considered all Arai till it was till the 7th day. So I'm not sure that's such a question. But he does also say that he mentioned. He said for Moshe Chamishka Mida Parako. He said for was not necessarily in order. He also mentions that not necessarily is a statement about the order. Okay, so but then going back to the Prisha. So that is about the Prisha. To say the Shivas Miluim. So too for Yom Kippur L'Dairis. So it says Gemara. Kanisa. Then we already learned that. So when answers Chad b'Shem Rabbi Yochanan b'Chav Shem b'Shem ben Lakish. Yeah, we did. And then Rabbi Yochanan, this is the name of Rabbi Shem ben Lakish. And then the Gemara is going to go back to the Shmini. Talk about Shmini East Tiny Nimshach, East Tiny Lo Nimshach. But that's already the top of Hayim Ralph. Going back to the Miluim. We'll leave that for tomorrow.